Now let's go to Nigeria. Tinubu must go. That's what the protesters there are chanting, referring to Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu. It's 9 months until the country's general elections, and top opposition leaders, alongside their supporters, have been holding protests this week, accusing the National Electoral Body of attempts to continue the rule of President Bola Tinubu by weakening the opposition. They allege the Independent National Electoral Commission of refusing to recognize the leadership of the African Democratic Congress, a new coalition poised to challenge Mr. Tinubu.
Key figures in the coalition include the presidential candidates from 2023, Peter Obi, and the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, who also blames the government for deteriorating security in Africa's most populous nation. I've been talking to Atiku Abubakar for Newsday. I asked first about those accusations against the Electoral Commission.
Well, we are accusing them of, first of all, misinterpreting the law, even though it's not their responsibility to do that. The courts have already interpreted the law. And then, of course, we are also accusing them of bias.
And the bias that you're accusing them of is what, to continue the rule of President Tinubu, to keep him in power?
For sure.
And just talk me through how you think that's happened. What is it you think the Commission has done that's trying to maintain the status quo wrongly, in your view?
The Commission has not acted according to law because we have a number of cases decided even by the Supreme Court that the internal affairs of political parties are not the prerogative of any agency other than the political parties themselves. But they have ignored the ruling even of the highest court in the land.
I understand you're saying that they've not abided by the law, but in what way? By doing what?
By doing what they have done. They ought not to have, remove the officials of the ADC from the National Electoral Commission portal. They ought not to have done that.
And you've talked about the enthronement of a dictatorship. You describe what's going on in those terms.
Yes, we use dictatorship because we have seen evidence of government interference in the electoral process as well as even the judicial process in the country.
So you're seeing your role in this is to safeguard the country's democracy?
Absolutely, because it's been 4 decades that I have been involved in trying to make sure that democracy is established in this country. I fought the military and we succeeded. And after just less than 3 decades of democracy, then a political party is trying to completely overthrow what we have been able to achieve.
What would restoring democracy look like? What would need to happen?
Free, fair elections without government interference, and making sure that you have an impartial electoral empire, basically.
You've also criticised President Tinubu's administration over security. You said that they've allowed at least insecurity in lots of different parts of Nigeria. Set that out for me in more detail.
Well, Nigeria is a vast country, admittedly so, but we also have, in terms of manpower, what it takes to have enough resources to be able to counter, the terrorism and the other illegal activities going on in the country. It's quite ironic and surprising that Nigeria cannot mobilize its armed forces to be able to counter these activities.
So why do you think that's not happening?
We suspect that there is collusion.
In other words, you're saying the government want there to be terrorism and insecurity around the country?
They use the tourism to intimidate people, particularly farmers, businessmen. You cannot travel. There is no security everywhere in the country. It's absolutely uncalled for. A country like Nigeria that has a huge population, that have a number of young men who are educated, that can be employed, in the security services to protect the country. But that is not happening.
How would the government benefit from promoting terrorism and violence in this way?
Well, they scare people and they do what they want to do.
You've also talked about corruption. Some people going back to President Obasanjo would say that regime, your involvement in that regime, was accused of corruption at the time, would say, how could you be the person to say Nigeria needs to deal with corruption. What do you say to that?
A very, very interesting question. I took the president to court 11 times and I won. There was never a time I was convicted of any corruption. Absolutely not.
And what about the sort of idea that people say we need a new set of politicians in Nigeria to take the country forward? Not, forgive me for saying so, faces from the past.
I quite agree that there is need for a new generation to take over from my own generation. But what is disappointing is that the so-called new generation have not even fared better. So, I mean, we have to search very well to ensure that even among the young generation, we have people who have credibility. Not all the politicians have credibility, as you can see.
Right.
We have governments changing parties simply because they are being protected from corruption charges.
So that sounds like you're saying, yes, I think it would be a good idea to have younger politicians, but there aren't any sufficiently credible young politicians around.
It looks like that. But you can have deliberate leadership training to bring up credible young, leaders in the country.
Are there leaders that you've already identified? Perhaps people have been taking part in these protests that you think you might be the future of Nigeria?
Certainly, yes.
Can you give me any examples of who you mean?
No, I don't think it would be fair.
Let's talk about the plight of young people across Nigeria, of voters, of ordinary people. What is the big challenge, would you say, that's confronting their lives, and how would you address it?
Of course, unemployment is very, very, very prevalent in Nigeria today. There is no basis for that. Nigeria is big enough. It has enough resources to ensure that we have minimal unemployment. But we have vast unemployed young men and women who are going about, and therefore there is tendency they go into crimes.
So there's unemployment, which is driving people into crime. What would you say the answer to that would be? What would the government do to help with that?
Well, to ensure that there is enough investment in the private sector or incentives is given to the private sector to create jobs, as we did during our administration. I mean, these are some of the things that are lacking today. And nobody cares about anybody except about themselves. I can do it because I headed the economic team during our administration, and we performed extremely well. The records are there for everybody to see.
I understand that you're talking about your record of the past. I was wondering more what your diagnosis is of the problems now, though. What's going wrong?
I have already enumerated some of the things going wrong. I mean, there is insecurity. When you have insecurity, there is no way you can provide jobs.
What's your expectation? What do you think will happen?
What I think will happen this time is that Nigerians will elect the right people.
How long do you want to run Nigeria for? Because we've talked quite a bit about the fact that you've had a long political career. How long do you see your own involvement being?
Not too long, but just like a transitional period to make sure that, we bring in younger and more credible leaders into government.
A transitional period of how many years?
Maybe 4, maybe 8.
That's Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President of Nigeria. Here's...
Welcome, my people. I greet you now. Una shall listen to Atiku BBC this thing. Anyway, I know I don't want to dwell so much on it. We know what we want, so there's no need. Let's just keep it moving. Okay, that's his interview. I think it was good that he did that interview, but there's some of the things he said that it's kind of like, oh God, what are you trying to say? But I don't want to do that. Okay, we're all in a coalition, so I'm going to keep it that way. All right. Even though throat still there, longer throaty still there, but hey, let me not say anything. This is day 3 of the protest. Day 3 of the protest. Yes, we are back. I'm sorry, guys, I was late. No, I get day job. For those who want to say I have a day job, so it was literally hectic today. But hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. We have a country to save, which is a huge priority for me. So welcome. Kene, I see you. Now you fair land. Before anybody take your position, let me acknowledge. Kene, welcome. You quick come out. You quick leave Alakija side, though. Thank you. Happy Friday. Oh, Mr. Chido, thank you for coming. I see you. I bet Mona like us na the enter or I beg. Na beg I dey beg. Mona Emi like. Mona Emi like us na the enter. Michael, I see you. Welcome, my brother. Tracy of life. My sister of life. My correct sister. Welcome. Oh. Welcome. All right. So, you know, and I don't want more to talk for that. Oh, Seed though. Sorry, Seed. I didn't even say Seed. Welcome. Oh, it was. I've entered Seed trouble today. Seed, welcome. Good to see you, my brother. You say, what do you even talk? I can see. Abi. But we will not to dwell on that one. Now just the interview. Make we move on first. Una hear say Tinubu convoy kpai 3 people for Bayelsa today. Okay.
original national anthem. After the count of 2. 1, 2. Arise, O compatriot. Nigeria's follow me.
All right. Have you seen that Amukpiton? He's been unmasked. The king has gone naked. They don't naked Amukpiton for Twitter. He don't get where to hide. Actually, in a way, I kind of feel sorry for him. The man they try to hide enough, but man, people they work for APC, dull. My goodness. A whole professor. God, I beg you. You see why they fear people with PhD? All these people with multiple alphabets or more, I don't rate any one of them. I'm sorry. Even me, I'm not gonna rate myself anymore now. Because myself get small alphabet, but I'm not even rate because of the likes of these professors. Something they see when they don't become something else. This man was on Twitter hyping APC people, abusing obedience. He can't when they can't figure him out. He can't change. He can't block. He lock in Twitter page. Can't go change the name. Hi God, very juvenile. He can't come out. They can't ask Grok. Grok say yes, it's still him. Grok he tell everybody where it be. What's going on? People are now even deep. People went to dig further, found his email address tied to his Twitter account. Lord have mercy. This man now left and now went to open a new account with his name. Now came out with a very short statement that their narratives flying. Oh my God, it was just embarrassing. And then instead of it, because he was using ChatGPT to explain himself, he forgot to remove the parts that were not needed. GPT called the answer, do you want the tone harsher? You want it middle, medium, or how do you want it? Hey, God, I beg you. I've been laughing all day. I just they laugh. Hey. Oh my God. See, no verse, I beg. No verse. If you see some of the comments I read today, no verse. Myself, I'm happy that it's been on mass, but low key, you know, I see we get conscience now. You understand? Those of us that have conscience, we will look at this and be like, oh my God, this man just embarrassed himself. He denied it now. Now they started digging. They dug out his email that is connected to the account. They bring out his CV. He person where they don't unmask for Twitter. Now he's naked. He's butt naked right now. If you go on Twitter, all my For You page, man, my correct followers I get. Now correct people I they follow for Twitter. All my For You page everywhere. Amopita must go. He wants to try coconut Gen Z. I'm telling you. That's what I've been retweeting and tweeting. As I dey meeting, I dey retweet, they tweet. I dey retweet, they tweet. As I dey talk, I dey retweet, they tweet. I say today we must fire this guy. Oh my God. You got to say they promised me $1 billion. If you see as I dey retweet, oh my God. In between my breaks, I was retweeting. And say, Amopito must go. Anybody when you tweet anything, bam. As they drop, I dey retweet them. They go here, they go feel them. They go for their life. They go say, no, we can never try these people again. Now, I don't know how this came about, but this is Ahmed Dati's statement. He said there's no rift between... I don't know why people think there's a rift between Ahmed Dati and Peter Obi. I don't understand. There's no rift between... People should leave the man alone. He says our focus is not division but defeating the APC government. I trust Baba Ahmed Dati. The man has my respect. You know they follow and do all this nonsense. One that they do. Kene now let you see Yashina show. God forbid. I not visit that kind of one. Ew. If I say I go wake up now, bad dream be that. The guy has been stripped naked without his fat stomach. He has been stripped completely butt naked on Twitter. It's embarrassing. Hey, God, I beg you. I'm telling you, Mona ask any how it is Siam. He said bullshit nyash. You people are not nice. You guys are not nice. I thought you people even be kinder on here to him. For we are now converse fast. Sid is about to throw punches. Oh, Coco Bioko. I'm happy it's coming out now because it had come out before he was sent to, if it had come out before he was sent to the assembly. Tinubu for say to heck with everyone. Exactly. Now the pressure is mounting on him like mad. They never see anything. I'm telling you, he go hide in Twitter like the APC when he be. No real between them. They are just focused. Fire from every side. Yes, that is for sure go there. Of course. You know people now, when they not say, they always want to create a problem when there's none. Let me see. This is what they said Tinubu said while he was in Bayelsa today. He said, fuel price is biting hard. But look around. Let us thank God together that you are better off than those in Kenya and other African. Can you imagine the buffoon? Imagine the buffoon. Not be disrespect with this. You are throwing other countries under the... What kind of human being is this? He's comparing your suffering with others. Never did he say that man are Lucifer. The devil himself. Anyway, let's keep going. Meanwhile, what has happened to David Udein? I don't understand though. This guy Alex, when they ground, they follow people, they support the people for just the disaster when they happen. If you see the propaganda they are cooking on top of this young man's head, this guy has been busy debunking. You go under their tweet, you go call them liars. Hey God, oh my God, we are in a misinformation war. I'm telling you, propaganda. Anyway, let's go on. See, they don't convert these ones that they beg. It's not the last time that they beg. I think I brought this video here before. I beg, let's move on.
By the court, there was a directive of my lord. The plaintiff adopted his amended originating summons, and respectively, all the defendants adopted their
welcome caller
as well as preliminary objections. It's only INEC, the fifth defendant that did not file a...
Chino, so welcome. Oh. Happy Friday to everyone. Sorry, let me just quickly catch up with the comments. Visible to the blind and audible to the deaf. Yeah, they should leave that here alone. That is just staying cool for now. They should leave him. The man will come out when it is needed. Chino, so welcome. Yes, so when he was doing what he was doing, did he not have conscience? That's true, Sid, you are right. Me, I dey quick sorry for people. That na the thing. All these chat when I dey talk now, so I sit here they quick sorry for person. That's the thing. We are better off than Kenya. That was a low, man. That was a very, very terrible comment to make. The Kurumbu said this before after he inquired 3 people. I be like saying after they inquired, I don't know. Was he even aware that they've pied people? They got David someone and got the platform. It's crazy. Omo, I see Akpabio daughter. We get there. Hey, God, I beg you.
Preliminary objection, but they did file a counter affidavit, which is supportive of the case of the first defendant, third defendant, and fourth defendant, respectively. INEC's position agrees with us that the party did hold a NEC meeting on the 29th of July 2025, during which distinguished Senator David Demark and His Excellency of Benin Rauf Arabeshola were elected as the national chairman and National Secretary of African Democratic Congress, ADC, respectively. INEC also confirmed in their report as Exhibit INEC number 1 that they attended the NEC meeting and that the NEC meeting produced distinguished Senator David Mark and Atiku Abubakar as National Chairman and National Secretary. They also confirmed the fact that the document, they have produced a report, which the report they attached. So INEC is on the same page with us as far as this matter is concerned. The plaintiff's case is speculative, is premised on gossip, the case is premised on an activity that never existed. Their argument is that that the Senator David Mark and Atiku Abubakar emerged as the National Chairman and Secretary of the party on the 22nd day of July 2025. And we are saying, no, you don't have any document to prove that. But we have document to show that on the 4th day of July 2025, the party did serve INEC a notice of their NEC meeting to be held on the 29th day of July 2025. And on the 29th day of July 2025, the meeting held, INEC attended, and INEC produced a report. So the evidence is before the court. While we have evidence before the court to back up our claim that the NEC meeting held on the 29th and not 2nd July 2025 or any other date, they don't have any document to support the assertion. We also raised the issue of locus standi. What is the locus of this? The person who filed this matter is not an official of the party. He's a member of the party. And the Supreme Court is very clear that any issue that borders on internal affairs of a legal party, no individual has any right to institute the action, and no court has jurisdiction to entertain it. And we also cited to the court the provisions of the new Electoral Act, Section 83, subsection 5, that prohibits and restrain courts from entertaining matters bordering on internal affairs of political party. We also brought to the attention of the court the new section, which is very germane, of Section 83, subsection 6b, that says a party who files any matter involving internal affairs of a political party shall be a cost of not less than 10 million shall be awarded against such person. We have urged the court to award the cost of not less than 50 million in favor of my own client, the distinguished Senator David Mark, and against the plaintiff as deterrent for filing such a frivolous action. So our case is very clear. We have a preliminary objection. We are saying that the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction to entertain this matter. The jurisdiction of this Federal High Court is limited to the matters that are contained in Section 251, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the additional jurisdiction has vested in it by the National Assembly on issue of pre-election matters, including the Constitution. So the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction over this matter. The matter is an internal affairs. Any issue bordering on governance or leadership of a political party, and even membership of a political party, constitutes an internal affairs of political party over which the court has no jurisdiction, and in respect of which nobody has locus, any member of the party has no locus to file such action. So we have made that point. So the judgment will come up based on what the court said anytime next week. It could be on Monday, it could be on Tuesday, but we know that justice will prevail at the end of the day. They gang up to destroy the Action Democratic Party, as demonstrated in the suit filed, the frivolous case filed, will fail. My name is Rewan Apanashi, African Democratic Party, ADC. They gang up as demonstrated in the suit will fail. The suit is clear.
Believe Nigeria at your own judy. At least they're making a little bit of progress now. By let me see. Okay, this is day 3 of the protest ongoing. Let's listen to Al Jazeera.
To Benin now, where voters will elect a new leader on Sunday. Patrice Talon, the president, is stepping down at the end of his second term, the maximum he's allowed to serve. The main opposition party's candidate, though, is not on the ballot. Let's bring in Ahmed Idris, who's in Cotonou Forest, the capital of Benin. You are at a rally for the ruling party's candidate, I understand, Ahmed. What's the mood like, and how much enthusiasm is there for this election?
For the supporters of the governing party is celebratory. Remember, most of the opposition to President Talon, most of the people who could pose a potential threat to his successor has been eliminated. We have only one candidate running against the governing party here in Benin Republic. So people here and most supporters of President Talon feel that this is just a walkover, and it all points to that. But the only question will be whether or not the voting population will turn out in huge numbers to elect. The last election, we had only just over 50% of participation. Considering the recent developments, the barring of political opponents in running for this election may impact probably the outcome or the turnout at the polling booths on Sunday. So the mood is celebratory for the governing party here in Cotonou and most other parts of the country. However, that is not to discount the fact that there is an opposition here, despite the fact that people are saying that it's just a formality, it to legitimize the election process. But again, there is an opposition. This is exactly what the government spokesman told us a short while ago.
Right. I was going to ask you about the credibility of the election, given that the main opposition party's candidate is not on the ballot.
Exactly. That's a huge question, not only for supporters of the opposition parties here in Benin Republic, but also a concern for observers from across the globe. Because people are wondering why 16 years ago, when President Patrice Talon was voted into office, there were 33 candidates that were on the ballot, initially contested. Eventually, that number has trickled down to only 2. And the two political parties, in fact, are being considered as most likely favoring the government side. The political opponents here believe that they will not call for a boycott, but again, they won't also call on their supporters to participate in what they call a sharp election. So for their own part, they believe that the election is not credible enough, simply because they have been sort of struck off the ballot for now. And observers are insisting that whatever happens, the poll must go on so as to keep Benin on the democratic path and also ensure peace and stability in one of the West African countries considered a safe island for democracy in Africa.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, for that. That's Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris reporting there live from Cotonou in Benin.
This Cotonou election, not be this same Cotonou, not be Tulumbu, be Kurumbu send military people to go stop the coup when they take place. Not be the same place. Hey. Okay, why was Amupitan's account nuked immediately? Thought they were forming parody. He probably knew there were too many receipts on that account to pass as parody. Nuking the account clearly shows that he was truly the owner. Parody would even want the clout to get enormous revenue. Hey, just in, ADC shakes Nigeria as record-breaking congresses sweep across 36 states and the FCT with over 5.8 million participants. The African Democratic Congress has recorded what many supporters and observers are already describing as a historic political milestone, as its local government area and the World Congresses were successfully held across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. The sheer scale, coordination, and energy of the exercise have further reinforced the growing perception that ADC is rapidly emerging as a formidable national movement with deep grassroots acceptance. Reports from across the country indicate that the turnout was massive, overwhelming, and unprecedented, with enthusiasm pouring in from communities, towns, and cities in a manner that has left no doubt about the city's expanding reach. In many places, the level of participation was described as something never before seen in the party's history, a clear sign that Nigerians are increasingly identifying with the ADC as a platform of hope, inclusion, and democratic renewal. Available reports further suggest that over 5.8 million people participated across 8.567 political wards, making the Congresses one of the most remarkable demonstrations of grassroots political mobilization in recent times. For ADC members and supporters, this is not just a successful internal exercise, it is a loud and unmistakable signal that the party's message is resonating strongly with the Nigerian people from the world level upward. With this resounding success, ADC has once again shown that it is not merely growing but rising with strength, structure, and popular acceptance across the country. The outcome of these congresses has injected fresh momentum into the party's national outlook and strengthened confidence among its supporters that a new political force is taking shape. A new Nigeria is possible. Who they check am? Who they check am? Who they check am? There we go. Yo, wow. Kawaii. Myself, I don't dey learn small Hausa terms, so not to know they may come teach me some more words to say. See the crowd though for Kebbi. This is in Kebbi. This is Abubakar Malami in Kebbi State today. Oh, sorry. Let me let you know who. Yes, sorry, I forgot to mention the Twitter handle. Mr. Ola, online guru at _ Mr. Ola at online guru. I hope you can see it. Yeah, that's him. Exactly, that's the thing. Tracy, exactly. You have a point there. You want to win poverty and loot the Olympics with Kenya. Exactly. That's a good point too. Good observation. We have to celebrate our small wins and shine our eye at the same time. We have to walk and chew gum because these APC people, they are devils. They are in their WhatsApp group now cooking up something. So we need to be, we self, we know they sleep again.
The reason why that military spokesman, Nigerian army spokesman came out and said that thing, that rubbish that he said, is because they have been trying to invade them, the southeast. You understand? They have been trying to invade the southeast by every means, by all those Fulani, all those terrorists. So by the help of Eastern Security Network and the IPOB movement, they no fit do am. All those people will be saying where they enter, all those niggas, all those Eastern Security Network, IPOBs, then they catch them. You understand? Like I tell you, all these things, everybody already knows, say, all this terrorism activity where they happen for Nigeria, they are being sponsored by the government, not just the government, by foreigners, foreign governments, by the United Nations, by NATO, by the Britain and by the Western government. European government, they get hand for waiting with the sub for Nigeria. You understand? Don't forget, say, them promise Nigeria, say, they will never allow Nigeria to rise up. Because Nigeria is sitting on oil keg. Nigeria is sitting on on oil keg, where we say oil no fit finish. Now so if they allow Nigeria will not be like the World Bank, will be like NATO to African countries. You understand? So all those things we say, they are not trying everything they will do. They will send. Waiting they never even call those IPOB. You don't call them terrorists, you don't get them bandits. Then the many people we say them be bandits. All those people they don't be Nigerians, so those people are foreigners. All these people when they import from all these nearby countries. All those Muslim niggas, all those Islam people when they import. When they come to terrorize Nigeria, they buy people, they buy Christians. You understand? So all those people where we don't see, say, all those things that they do, they don't send Nigerian women they go finish IPOBS and the Nigerian army don't go, they no fit. Now they don't come to tell you and say those people then catch some band and some people will say IPOB them kidnap. All those people where you see say them be hold like that, na bandits, na terrorists, them be hold like that. No be say those people no be any, they no kidnap anybody. They no fit try and Igbo people no go allow those IPOB or Eastern Security Network people make them kidnap anybody. Igbo people know they like other tribes be say there are people go do something and go decide if you do fuck up, Igbo people go treat you will be Igbo man. So forget that thing where then they tell you say they catch them, where they kidnap people, and a lie. They want to finish them. So you people they have Nigerian army. So you people have all those weapons that you can use to stop IPOB. You don't use and stop bandits when they buy Nigerians. Nigerian, this is to tell you that everything what they happen. Now planned movement, no be coincidence. And waiting them plan. You understand? They want to Islamize Nigeria. Meanwhile, there are a lot of problems a lot of things that Nigerian army should go and fight. IPOB self, they help them. IPOB, they help Nigerian army, they protect Nigeria. They know IPOB, they help Nigerian army, they protect Nigeria, but they know give yes, in fact, Nigerian government is supposed to empower them with military weapons. Supposed to empower them with nuclear weapons, nuclear bomb. Everything. You understand? Why be saying now only IPOB? They won't fight. They don't want to go fight Fulani herdsmen, all those Islam, all those Muslim people, where they buy people, they buy Christians. That is to tell you that everything that they are doing is that, and then they kill people. And whereas all those people where they buy, some of them no be Hausa, some of them no be Fulani. Some of them are people waiting for all those nearby countries. You understand? And those people, they are paying them for that, for killing you, for killing Nigeria, being paid. And they used to promise the government that we make sure that nothing happens to them, we protect them by all means. That is why whenever somebody try to defend himself, that's self-defense. You understand? Whenever those people come to kill him, if they catch you, either they sentence you to jail. And they must announce it in all the media, so that the countries, all those countries, then go pack those bandits. They go see and say, Nigerian government, yes, they killed that person, we killed that person.
Exactly. You're right.
You understand? So yeah. They try to let you know, say, forget that thing within the door. They are the one that are arranging boys.
Absolutely. You're
Nigerian
right.
government, Tinubu is aware of everything.
Yes.
That is why he came out and tell you that he cannot do anything about it.
Yes.
That's what he said. He can't do anything about it. You understand?
Right. Yep.
100% key fact.
I'm telling you. Thank you. We understand you. We get your point. You talk and wear. Thank you. Oh! See now. Oh! Show me your wife now. See body. Oh! I beg. See beauty. Why will you not want this kind of first lady? I read on Twitter, somebody said, please, vote Peter Obi for aesthetics, please. Let's have beautiful first lady. Even if it's for the first lady, let's just vote for Peter Obi. And I agree. You might find throwaway. Looking sharp. I beg you. See, this is how the convoy buy people. I no wan show am because my heart no carry am. Anyway, let's go ahead.
Nigerians to take note. The credibility of the current INEC chairman to conduct the 2027 general elections has been hit by a major blow, and is of course an own goal. Old tweets of his showing unapologetic loyalty, supportship, partisanship, biases to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the APC, and elections conducted for his stooges and proteges have now resurfaced online. And this is quite very disheartening, very heartbreaking. For so many persons, they are not shocked because events in the last couple of weeks have shown that Professor Amokbitan has a hatchet job to do for the APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he has been carrying that out in preparation for the 2027 elections. But of course, the problem now is that with this information out there, nobody can trust INEC and Professor Amokbitan to conduct 2027 elections, and this is the situation. So, the tweets that resurfaced online were made of the current national youth leader, Pastor Dayo Israel, and then I'll read these tweets and then tell you what now followed. Today, I rejoice not just for delivering my polling unit, but for winning 7 out of 10 polling units in my nearly Igbo-dominated community where APC have never won. They always vote opposition, but this time I sat with the youth of the community and forged a partnership. Today, we won 7 out of 10 polling units. First time in history, never happened before, never. Under that particular tweet was a very visible tweet endorsing it and celebrating it, and it was written, it was expressed, victory is sure. Guess who made that particular tweet? Professor Joash Ojo Amokbiton, with the handle Joash Amokbiton, at Joash Amokbiton. Now, that tweet resurfaced online today, and Nigerians have started to investigate to know what was happening. So, of course, Grok, the AI tool for verifications and verifications on X, was used, and it was shocking to see. Grok, is this the real handle of the current INEC chairman? Grok responded with, yes, Joash Amokbiton is the real X handle of the current INEC chairman, Professor Joash Ojo Amokbiton, SA. He was sworn in on October 23, 2025, succeeding Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. His bio matches official record from INEC, Nigeria.org, and government announcement. Now, immediately that particular tweet resurfaced online, they quickly went to lock and protect the account and then change the name to @SundayVibe00 parody account. All of this to hide the fact. But Nigerians have already taken note of this development. And what is even more worrisome is the fact that the account was now protected, because a parody account shouldn't be protected. X permits for parody accounts, and if it is a parody account, you will not protect it, don't need to lock it. I'm sure they are doing a lot of cleanup behind the scene, because screenshot before the account was locked already indicated that Joash Amokbiton had screenshotted or has reposted current INEC Nigeria activities. That's the current X handle of INEC Nigeria has been reposting it. So it means that there are affiliations. A parody account will not go to that extent. And like I said, assuming it's even a parody account, why are you locking it? Why are you protecting it? This calls for concerns, and I want Nigerians to be as diligent as it were in following this case. A lot of persons will say they are not surprised, but this is a clear bias shown publicly. This particular tweet was made in 2023 after the gubernatorial elections in Lagos. Of course, Babajide Sanwo-Olu went on to winning the elections, but that Professor Amokbiton would have expressively, in this manner, publicly declared, shown bias, shown partisanship, shown supportship for the APC, and this particular tweet is an indication that he should not be allowed to conduct an election. INEC is supposed to be neutral and very credible. INEC is supposed to be truly independent. And somebody who has shown this level of partisanship or bias cannot be allowed to lead INEC into a major election for Nigeria. I know that in the usual way that Nigeria does her things, this will not be handled. This will not be spoken about. There will be one discrediting or one shove off information on public information. We do not even want the INEC system or the INEC organization to respond to this. We want Professor Amokbiton to respond and show us how he is not linked with this particular account. I know a lot of things are going on behind the scene, but clearly, if Professor Amokbiton has any iota of integrity and he will be respected, he needs to honorably resign and step aside.
Hey, my people, let me read one tweet I just saw now. Nigerians will keep person. The person say, the handle is Fedi, Burmese Tiger. He say, Nigerian law school has produced more skit makers than reputable lawyers in the last 10 years. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Look at Amopita. They even can't do screen record. Make we listen. Yeah. The current handle, the former handle, everything exposed. See, hi God, this guy mess up. Of course he's lying. Eating money, that's all he's been busy doing now. Why are they paying him? They are the ones, you see, APC SSs, they are the ones coming to the defense of Olusegun, whatever that man's name is, coming to the defense of this INEC chair. Look at them. Bunch of useless people. Anyway, let's keep it moving. You get the drift. See Ghana. Ghana say una can't go house. Ghana, they drive una come out for their country. More will listen.
They say in your country, Nigerians and other nationalities, if you are here illegally, you must leave Ghana. You must leave Ghana.
So,
Ghana is not safe. We will deal with you people in our own ways. They say in your country.
Una here, not be me talkamo. Una here and maybe una no here. Okay, if you like, sit on the fence and be doing. Hey, that's not concern me. I don't like politics. I don't like to argue with people. I don't wanna. Well, your home, war front, there your house. You people are fighting a war. You have not yet said what is doing you people. They are driving you all over the world. South Africa, no one see you now. South Africa, no one see you now. Ghana, no one see you now. Which other country? Namibia roast you now for free or for internet. For Twitter, although I confess, I supply them with materials. Yes, make the thing roast tuna from here to Kafanchan so that una go learn. I say I beg, I supply material for na need. Na so London, they deport any small pequena, they throw na back home. I beg. Even America for here. What are we talking about? Everywhere. So you better go and fix your homes.
Nigerian government, APC federal affliction, Ori Buruku Lensheo, Oshi Lensheo. If
welcome, EB. Good to see you, my brother. How you doing?
Everybody will remain potential victim, and we will continue to see this restlessness and irresponsibility. Commissioner of Police for Abuja,
no mind them, Michael. You know how they do.
Congratulations on your forensic equipment. You wanna get
welcome, Kenny.
Know how to catch content creators
greetings
and
to you too,
but do not know how to catch terrorists. Nigerians, now the way you stand, my cameraman go snap you because this government, they don't see Nigerians finish. And until we wake up and take action to deliver ourselves, we go continue to see these shenanigans. So Commissioner of Police for Abuja don't come do video, they do press conference, they tell Nigerians, say, one notorious, according to him, notorious content creator, when make video, they talk, say terrorists, they invade Abuja and all that. Say within a space of 24 hours, that because Abuja command, they get forensic equipment, they track the guy down, a 24-year-old notorious content creator. They track him down to a place in Buari, they don't arrest him, they carry him, go court. And the thing where shock me past of the video, now when the commissioner say, see, police don't change you. Anything where you talk, anywhere where you did, they go track you, they go carry you. Shame on you, Nigerian police. Shame on you, Nigerian government and Nigerian law enforcement. You are amongst leaders and workers most miserable. So Nigerian police will not get equipment to track people where they make statement and they talk. The only people where will not know how to track now the actual criminals and kidnappers. CP of Abuja, Now, which day when our forensic equipment go capture the kidnappers where they terrorize people around Cuba and other parts of the country? So, what time when our own forensic evidence, forensic equipment, go handle the security threat we make say today, according to the U.S. online platform, the U.S. government don't issue travel advisory for his people, considering that even non-essential staff from the U.S. Embassy in Abuja make they consider to leave the country or to leave the place. Waiting with the security, they are citing security issues as why they tell non-essential staff to consider leaving. Waiting with the security intelligence where they use, and what have your forensic ability been able to capture for that one? As it is today, U.S. Embassy don't cancel every in-person visa appointment. All of the things they on top U.S. I know they talk about another country, the same United States, where when they brag, they do all of that because Ori Buruku Lenshe. Now, why when I never fit use on our own forensic ability to track down the security concerns where they make U.S. the advising people say make them consider leaving the place? Nigerian government and Nigerian leaders, Nigerian law enforcement, when will this irresponsibility and evil-handedness stop? This Ori Buruku when they do, for how long will it continue? Just how many days ago, another military brigadier general officer, they don't kill him. Within a space of how many weeks, Nigeria has lost not just normal officers, so even the senior ranking military officers are being slaughtered. Military bases are being overrun in the north. Yet the forensic powers of our government, they know they see them for that one. Because Ori Buruku Lenshe now, Oshi Lenshe, and this will continue for as long as the people permit it. What a shame. CP, imagine say that's your video. Make we agree, say people are not supposed to post whatever information that they cannot verify you. Imagine say that your press conference, you come out and say, Nigerians, my country people, with our forensic capabilities, we don't track down kidnappers for Abuja. We don't track down terrorists and other things around the country. And this insecurity, our forensic, they help us to bring them down, and we are taking the battle to the terrorists. Imagine how the thing will sound. But Oshini, Ori Buruku Lenshe, and at the APCBD said that they say this one they go this Ori Buruku so okay, city boy go reach Jos. City boy they fear to enter city for Jos because Oshi Lenshe. Nigerians, if you allow this reign of terror to continue, this is a shameful conduct. In fact, they don't see Nigerians finish. Anybody will talk anything when I go find them. Nigeria forensic equipment and ability is only for people who criticize government. Now, only for people where they talk. The real people where they kill people, slaughter police officers, go to casino. Terrorists go kill police. They go wear uniform of police. Come so-called peace stakeholder unfortunate meeting when a forensic equipment never fit track those ones to go capture them. Now, content creator, notorious content creator. Emma Kuishe, congratulations on your forensic equipment, Ori Buruku. My name is Peter for Nigeria. Nigeria, shine your eye. 2027, avoid distraction and stay focused. Affliction must not rise the second time. If not, we are complicit in our own oppression. What a shame of leader.
I'm telling you. Now, let me see. There's a video making the rounds, right, on Twitter. A fight broke out between Nigerian military personnel. Military and Navy, they fight for streets, my people. Oh, God, for Bayelsa. I no go play the video. Cannot bother. No, there's no need. Yeah, Tinubu's convoy just spied 3 people in Bayelsa. Eyewitness reports from live from Bayelsa. I'm not for sure. This is Kebbi when Abubakar Salami showed up. See everywhere, people everywhere. Let me see. Maybe when I want to watch the video, make a let to now watch it. May they let the car pass now. This is even risky, what they are doing. Anyway. See the military. Remember this guy that they removed from the military because he said the children of the elite should join? He says, I'm seeing some news online that military is recruiting new people and it's very good, but I'm still asking, why are politicians' children not joining? Let's listen to him. I bet we need to amplify this guy's voice.
Yeah, guys, it's a boy soldier boy should have set and criminal. Excuse me because I don't understand. I don't understand though. I see some news online say Nigeria army want to recruit people. That's very nice one. And people will want to join, they will join. But my issue is that why not telling the politician children to join the army? Why are you not telling the politician children to bring their children also to come and join the army? Secondly, when I was arrested and when I was in detention, in Maiduguri 7D, people that were there in that detention together, they are more than 100 people. They are more than 100 people. In Abuja, when I was detained in Abuja, people that they are there, they are more than 60 people. Likewise, I know, not be only one barrack na ide Abuja, not be only one barrack na ide Maiduguri. Likewise, all the barrack they get cooked inside guard room, plenty. Now so that they bring some people say from Ibadan when I was in the guard room. Why are you guys not releasing these people? Saying that there's no manpower, but why are not they release these people when they need detention? Nigeria, I want you guys to ask for their immediate release. These people, they are too much. And if na cast them now, say they won't go check those people now, they'll go prepare them. They'll go prepare them, they'll go allow them, make them enter, make them see those people. If not so, I would have said, yes, people will say they get power for this country, make them go they check all the guard rooms. Without offense, when we say no reach anything, I don't think say they are offense. You know even what something when we say they will keep persons. Some people don't spend 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months inside guard room. Some people are inside that guard room for 1 year, 6 months, more than that, 2 years. You guys should release those people. Release them. Instead of you shouting, manpower, people should come and join army. Release them. And at the same time, people come join army. Call the politician children also.
Bam.
Let them come and join the army.
Bam.
And let's see, maybe the army no go better. If the politician begin to join the army, the things, all these things when they happen for this country, it will reduce. When it comes to sufferness, it will reduce. Inside the military, a lot of things will change when the politician, when they bring their son to join the army. A lot of things will change in this Nigeria. A lot of things will change. So let them release those people in the detention. I'm not saying people should not join army, but let them release those people in detention and stop shouting that yes, there's no manpower, there's no manpower. Maiduguri more than 100 people, Abuja more than 50 people. Who knows all over Nigeria guard rooms?
A few moments later.
Make you no believe. Waiting them they talk on and them show face again. Everything where them promise us before. We there for years, we never see now them be the architect of your suffering. They don't show again. God now money can Miss Collins don't show again. They don't show again. God now money can Miss Collins don't show again. They don't come again when you lies. Same old story every day. It a pain us still, then they mock us, but they forget say now we get power, make them not take us play. Cause if we vex, we go overthrow them. They don't show again. God now money can Miss Collins don't show again. They don't show again. God now money can Miss Collins don't show again. We don't tire for your endless life. You value our life.
Anyways, more protests. Kudos to everyone that came out on this day, man. 3 days strong. I really appreciate what everybody in Nigeria is doing. Mr. Bibo is a welcome. Oh, long time. Okay. Yeah, so these are the military officers. Went by. See them. And then be that. More protest pictures. More protests. Then, see, INEC chairman. What's happening? See, victory is sure, Professor Amupita. Then he can't change them quickly. He can't change them. When they catch him, he can't go change them to parody accounts. Now, person can ask, Grok, is this the real handle of the current INEC chairman? Grok no hesitate. Nah, you know, say Grok sharp. He say, yes. Joash Amupita is the real ex-handle of the current INEC chairman, Professor Joash Ojo Amopita's son. He was sworn in on, he even give us more details than we asked. See, Kai, what a shame. He was responding to this Dayo guy, Dayo Israel. Now they respond to. Guess what? He now opened a new account. Guess who the only person he's following? This same Dayo. Hey, APC people are dull. I'm sorry. All the professors, all the so-called affiliate people, when they did that party, all of them don't get head at all. Illiterates. They all get certificate. Nothing to show. Oh, I know, Mr. Bibo is yeah, I can understand though. See. Remember this guy when they brutalized for Surulere, House of Rep? I know you guys remember him now. See the comment when Professor Amutipitan put under here. He said they are evil in the 21st century, calling obedience evil. Now they say, you said what? You said what now? That's all I've got for you, my people. I just want to talk a little bit about that video of that we played, this article's video. I don't know. I don't want to say anything negative, and I don't want anybody to take it the negative way. But I mean, it's a guy trying to go and market himself. Because when they asked him, are there any young people that he feels can take over? He's saying there are no young people. Doesn't that speak very poorly of him? Doesn't he realize that in all your years of being a leader in Nigeria, you could not raise people that you can even hold on to and say, okay, yeah, these ones, we train them well and they're willing to. Is that no shame with that? You know, and then they asked him a question, not whether he wants to run or not. He immediately quickly said, yeah, he can do it. Hello, daddy, Baba, you cannot do it. We don't want 80-year-old there. I beg you. Whether now that one you just use that one till they talk may not be like says because you don't want to give anything away. That's how I want to think about it. I really don't want to. I don't want to disrespect you, sir. Right? And I'm not trying to, you know, it's just an observation I'm making. Like, why would you give an interview like that? It's almost like you don't have any faith in your young people. That speaks very poorly of you. That means that you did not raise you did not have anyone that you mentored enough to trust that, okay, these people are going to do a fantastic job. It's a shame. It's actually a slap on your faces as elders. You understand? He cannot build a successor. That's what it is. You just say this, so you people when they ask you the question, they don't know what they do when they ask you. Well, my people, make I leave on for here. I don't try. Make I go rest so that I go get energy to come out at another time. Make I go continue to the help them. They tweet this Joash Amopiton thing. That guy must waka naked. Come up for that INEC. We don't want to see him there. So, yeah. Thank you, Jude. You remember now? Thank you. I don't want to raise shoulder. You know, I don't want to do like peacock. This is why you call people out. Look at it now. Do you know he put out another statement again? What's his name? President Afa Mosigo, he put out another statement, right? And he said that people should stop using antebellum. That's not the word that should be used by non-judges or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying it correctly. I'm probably modeling it up. But basically, that's what he was saying. You understand? And I think they want to roll out disciplinary, whatever. I don't know. But I still say, well, good that he's putting out those statements, but needs to be action behind it. There needs to be action. They need to form, pressure groups within the legal body. They need strong pressure groups. Not one, not two, not like multiple pressure groups. You won't know which one is doing what. The way we are in Nigeria now, if you don't see anything and you have that position, you are complacent. We don't care. You are part of the problem. So anybody now when you not talk anything, they mark you down. So if you have a position, it's either you throw in your hat and say, okay, I want to make sure I change this thing, right? Let us see you trying to change it. Maybe we say, okay, now these people, they push back on it. Than for you to fold hands with all the madness when they go on for judiciary. No, mbano. We not go agree. So you see, as if he did our life yesterday when I did call him out. Go be like say he did the life, he was listening and taking notes. If you cannot do it, you see that, okay, you cannot do it, they are trying to make you compromise, then, you wash your hands. You don't have to take the perks of the office. Wash your hands respectfully and walk away and say, no, they're asking me to do something that is against my conscience. I refuse to do it. People will respect you. They will respect you. Do you understand? Okay, this is 4 hours ago. He said, executive building courts, gifting judges undermines judiciary. That's what he said. He's been, making comments back to back. This is good that he's saying it, but need more action. More action, I beg. More action. Not be to just talk and waka come on. No, baba. Do more. Oh, yeah, I had more videos to show you guys. Let me just play these few videos and then we'll go away. The day you amend Chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution to be justiciable, Nigerian politicians will become more serious and stop stealing. Let's hear what he had to say, at least as a fellow person when he used to
3% of Nigerians that you and I are oppressing. If you go to Kano, it's worse in the north. Yesterday, I sat with Lia Limoke, Tambua, and I was very uncomfortable. So I had to voice out my feelings. Tambua, say yes. 3% of these children outside.
Also, he spoke to Sheung. Ike, thank you. Let me find it. He talked to Sheung.
And children.
Wow, you see why it's good to talk?
I said, you don't see a social crisis.
This is why you.
But that 70% that have children do not have opportunity to take those children to school. It means that these children will become uneducated and poor. We are growing who? Poor people, just as we are growing rich people in Nile. And I said to him, such situation, can you have justice? Can you? I have referred you to the fundamental objective and directive principle of the Constitution, which is in Chapter 2 of the Constitution. What makes that Chapter 2 even very difficult and unnecessary is the same Constitution says it's not justiciable. Why did you put it there? To waste my time to go and read when I have other things to read. You assume, just sit back and say, this is the society we want. If you had said it's justiciable, politicians will be serious. Do you know that? The day you wake up and say Chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution is justiciable, politicians will stop stealing. But because you said it's not justiciable, it means that whatever they do, they don't have to reach that standard. There are no standards by which you can all be equal in the Nigerian society. That Chapter 2 can, to a great extent, bring you to near equality, because that is your expectation of the Nigerian government. There is no equality in Nigerian law if the leadership of Nigerian society is not accountable.
Oh, we hear you, Oga. I want to go to that video. I think they just posted clips here and there. I want to go to the full video. I'm trying to find the full video, but in the meantime, let's listen to this.
Guys, just watch this video. It's supposed to be at the forefront, talking about electoral reform. Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, or Erufai, these are the people that are supposed to be standing there, not some youths The youth are supposed to support them from the back. The youth are supposed to rally around them.
I even said Obi, Atiku, and Kwankwaso and the rest people should come out so that we, the youth, can support them. If I want to come out, I'm going to come out when I see Atiku, Peter Obi, Kwankwaso, and them to come outside and tell.
Now, the same person that said Obi should come outside and protest. Now, look at what he said next.
Bam.
You see, I don't see that thing that happened yesterday as a protest. I saw it as a campaign. I saw it as a campaign.
This is not looking good.
You know, because I saw a lot of ADC people there. You know, it's a campaign. That's not even a protest.
Really?
So Nigerians, who is the manipulator here?
Bam!
On our suffer go long. I swear to God. If one person have to dictate and tell you what to do, you are shouting, you are telling me that if people come out for attacks, the same Tinubu that you said that he brought out situations that the layman, that the regular man can relate with, that he did not go after INEC. Just watch this.
When they sit down for INEC as an institution, they do not represent the interests of Nigerians.
Same Tinubu that you said never went against INEC. That's his video. That is his video against INEC. See, stop all these things. Nobody is forcing you to come out and
exactly.
No. Because the truth is you're an easy target. She is trying to take you out. It's fine. But stop using your influence to say rubbish. Stop using your influence to discourage people.
Exactly.
Because in a real revolution, we don't need a leader.
Bam.
The fire has to be ignited on everybody. Everybody is feeling the pain. But it's obvious you're enjoying the current state of Nigeria. You want to keep solving cases. You want to keep being the hero. That nonsense cannot continue. I'm sorry.
Bam.
Say you want Nigerians to be free from mental slavery. For how many years? Any plan that does not have time bound, it's a lie.
Bam.
You have to put a time to when you want to fix something, you want to do something, you have to put a time to it. If you don't have a time frame to something, you're just joking. You just want to enjoy your life for the rest of whatever God call you. So bro, stop the cap. Nigerians, wake up and do what's right for you.
Oh more. You dey sweet me, oh. A lot of people are rising up. I like this. Yeah, challenge him. He just moved the goalpost. Can you imagine? See wetin fellow Christians in Nigeria, see wetin Supreme Council for Sharia and Islamic Affairs of Nigeria don direct. May I read that for now? They have directed that Friday sermons across mosque to call for the removal of INEC chairman Professor Amopita and declared it will not recognize any election under his leadership. Una dey here? No, una not here. The Christians have left the room. They know those things not concern them. They'll go fast for 40 days and 40 nights, no results. Go church Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, nothing to show for it. Then they buy your brethren on the left hand, on the right side, it not concern you. Dress up, look pretty on Sunday, go to church. That's all you people care about. I beg, let me listen to our fam. As he listen to us, make we self listen to them. Channels news. Channels. Oh, you know what? Let me... because this is a very important something. Okay, bear with me while I pull it up. Boy, oh boy. Oh, fantastic. Okay, right on. Right on. Okay.
Types of dispute resolution.
Hold on 1 second. I want to do this. Okay.
Our position is quite simple. If the law has explicitly
Let's start.
Commission portal. The PRP calls on the opposition parties to speak up against the action of INEC on the ADC, demanding the electoral umpire to obey the rule of law, the Nigerian constitution, and remain apolitical rather than dabble into party politics, as has been witnessed. The national chairman of the PRP, Akim Baba Ahmed, made this statement after a solidarity visit to the ADC leadership in Abuja. Baba Ahmed says the PRP is standing in solidarity with the ADC.
PRP, don't meet the ADC. I don't know what PRP stands for, by the way.
The Yobe State network of civil society organizations is pledging to collaborate with the state government to consolidate and mobilize youth at the grassroots for the development of the state. This was disclosed by the convener of the governance summit, Mr. Farouk Chiromari, which was held in Damaturu, the state capital, with the theme consolidating government building legacies, sustaining the future of inclusivity in governance.
Thanks so much, everyone. There you are. You've been served with your political roundup stories. So Nigeria's legal community is raising a red flag over what it calls a dangerous trend because of being drawn into the internal affairs of political parties despite clear legal limits. The Nigerian Bar Association, led by the president, Mr. Afam Osigwe, senior advocate of Nigeria, has warned that this growing wave of politically motivated litigation could undermine democratic
Oh, so it's People's Redemption Party. Okay, thank you, Tracy. I didn't know. Yes, Ahmed, that is yes.
2022, particularly
I don't know. Okay.
Interference in intra-party disputes. Yet courts continue to entertain such cases, sometimes issuing orders that reshape party leadership and internal structures. The NBA is now threatening disciplinary action against lawyers and calling on the judiciary to exercise restraint. So is Nigeria's democracy being quietly reshaped in the courtroom? And where should a line be drawn between legal redress and political manipulation? Joining me tonight is the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, the conscience of judiciary and the society. He is the president, Mr. Afam Osigwe, senior advocate of Nigeria. Thanks so much, Mr. President, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me, Sean.
Appreciate it. It's concerning, isn't it? The trend, and I'm happy to see that the NBA seems to be now more proactive when you see a society ill, especially as it affects the Nigerian judiciary and our legal process, and the way you've come out to say, doing the activism that the association should be doing on one part. So in this sense, particularly about our election and the role of our courts, and there are those who have worried that our court is not a polling unit where you determine for politicians or for Nigerians who become their leaders. The people should be able to elect for themselves. But you have come out as an organization to say there is a worrying trend. What exactly have you noticed?
Well, over the years, there have been worries that the electoral process has been overly judicialized, and the fear that the judicialization of the electoral process may have politicized the judicial process, with the attendant fears of corrupt practices affecting judgments of the court. And for us as a bar association, whose motto is to promote the rule of law, our position is quite simple. If the law has explicitly stated that courts do not have jurisdiction to entertain matters which border on internal affairs of political parties, then it behoves lawyers and the judges on the different side, on the two sides, not to be drawn into this fray. Not for the lawyers not to institute action, not to couch them in some smart way as to make the courts have jurisdiction, and for the courts to refrain from making orders that make it difficult for the political parties to function, or party office holders to function, or to put political parties into confusion, or to make them leaderless. And we thought that if we are guided by the law as we should be, then lawyers will not tomorrow be accused, or the courts will not be tomorrow be accused of having, in one word or the other, made it difficult for democracy to thrive, especially multi-party democracy. And we thought that lawyers should exercise a higher level of restraint, likewise judges, before entertaining these matters or allowing them to clog the judicial process or being led into making orders that statutorily they cannot make.
Yeah, and it's interesting though, and those who think that there are some things to be argued in court, for example, if the Supreme Court and the Constitution has clearly stated that if someone has been sworn in a particular manner, cannot run for another office, and lawyers are still going to now be finding out from court whether or not the person can still go back, when the Supreme Court has laid this foundation plan, and the frustration is sometimes to the eminent judges at the bench who are wondering that it's a sheer waste of time of the court. But in this sense, Mr. President, how clear is the law, especially the Electoral Act 2022, leaving room 2026 rather, leaving any room at all for judicial intervention in party affairs?
It's very explicit. If you look at Section 83, it says that no court shall exercise jurisdiction with respect to internal affairs of a political party. And the section went on to say that where an action is commenced in negation of this provision, that the court shall not make any interim order of injunction or interlocutory injunction, and should leave everything to the final determination of the matter. Now, in prefacing your question, you made reference to where matters are settled, and it's unfortunate that lawyers and courts pretend not to know that certain factual situations have been decided by the court, the apex court, so that there is nothing new to be decided. While I will not use the example that you have given, and I'll use the example of where a member of the executive, say governor or deputy, changes party. You see people litigating it as if it's a new thing. While as far back as 2006, in the case involving Atiku Abubakar, who was then Vice President to Olusegun Obasanjo, the Supreme Court had made it very clear that losing one seat only affects a member of the legislature and not the executive. And yet people still go to court, and court make judgments that are not in line with this decision of the Supreme Court that I've referenced. And it shows is either the lawyers have been mischievous or pretend not to know what they do, because I doubt if they don't know it, or the judges who may write such judgments are corrupt or incompetent. And our disciplinary process should work both against the lawyers involved in these actions and the judges who make such decisions.
I mean, in this sense, what happens, Mr. President, where there are disputes as to the leadership of a political party? Yes, there are decisions made by a group in the party, but yet there are unresolved issues and there are disputes generating from such. Where do they go?
So the courts and the INEC should have a dispute resolution mechanism for this. And the parties should have it as a part of the provisions in their constitution. The law as it is that the courts do not have jurisdiction, and should not also, where people have shut their eyes to these clear provisions of the law, the courts should not grant any order of injunction. And then this brings me to a point which you did not raise, but which I would like to raise. And I also think, considering the confusion that is arising in our body politic in recent times, our courts should not make such orders as using Latin magazines like status quo antebellum or status quo pendenitis. The court should make clear orders to what it means, so that there's no ambiguity. There's no ambiguity. I see situations where people go away rejoicing that the order was in their favor, now giving room for mischief or for anybody to interpret it the way they want. Where court has chosen to make an order, it should clearly what it has set out to do, and not hide behind any Latin maxim. Seeing that in some other climate may not be a problem, but it seems that we have a peculiar situation in Nigeria where we choose to interpret laws the way it suits us. They're also leading to confusion. Because if the court means the person that was there before coming to court, or the person that make it clear,
even with names,
and instances, so that when people go away, there will be no doubt as to what the court has ordered.
Status quo antebellum is one guy that if some politician catch today, they will strangle him.
Because it creates confusion.
Status quo antebellum is a major problem in our politics today.
We have rendered it meaningless. It's been gutted of any meaning. So our courts should avoid using such phrases and specify what orders they are making, so that nobody will be left in doubt, or no administrative body would have to interpret it and then try to give his own decision on it.
Due honor to your long years of practice and knowledge, status quo and status quo antebellum. there seems to be a definitive understanding into what it means. Sorry, apologies. But the question here is, how far does it take you back?
That's
into
why,
the
that's
crisis
why
and to the problem.
I wouldn't want to attempt any definition of it, explanation of it. Yeah. Safe to suggest that courts should refrain from using it in making their orders. The court should specify what they are really asking parties to do, and not hide behind status quo antebellum, status quo pending litis. Let's not use them.
I blame the law teachers who also teach a lot of margins.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's universal in the common law countries, an accepted thing. Mm-hmm. But we seem to have a penchant for doing things the other way, or interpreting it the way it suits us, not the internationally accepted way. So to avoid confusion and to avoid a lot of hair being split, a lot of ink being dissipated, trying to explain what it means and what it does not mean, and then we still end up not agreeing. The courts should avoid using them and make clear orders as to what they mean to avoid confusion.
Section 83 is very central to your argument.
It is.
And you look at it, you wonder whether this mischief or the deliberateness in wanting to mess up our democracy, who are we to blame directly? The lawyers or the courts?
All of us. The lawyers who see these provisions and still go to court. The judges who see this provision and waste so much time instead of asking parties to address it. Do I have jurisdiction in the light of this position? I mean, one of the things you're taught as a law student is that law is in the bosom of the judge. Mm-hmm. So the judge is presumed to know the law. Yeah. And the judge, having read the papers filed before him, said, look, this matter is not about internal crisis of a police. Can you address me on whether I have jurisdiction? Mm. And we don't have to waste so much time. And that section also talked about such matters being heard quickly. Accelerated hearing. Expedited hearing. And we're not getting that. And orders are made. And there are strict timelines for the doing of certain things. And the matters are pending. So, of what use will a decision rendered after those timelines are passed? Of what use is making of an order that creates confusion as to what that status quo really means?
Let us see.
Or makes the compliance of that difficult, left to the interpretation of all the parties and the wings and caprices of those who are involved.
Let us see. Exception is a very fundamental principle in law practice. Are there exceptions to where courts can intervene in intra-party dispute?
Well, I wouldn't know. If you look at the statute, it would appear that there isn't in internal crisis. But when it talks about who is the candidate representing a party, the primaries, the court would have jurisdiction. And the whole essence, if you ask me, is to reduce the number of political cases that go to our courts. In the next few weeks, our courts will be clogged by political cases, and many judges will only be hearing political cases. And this is a country that has rising litigation, where the time it takes to file a case till you get judgments is increasing. And then all these things will snowball into appeals that may end up at the doorsteps of the Supreme Court. So the less the number of cases that get instituted in our courts, that our judges are involved in, the less the pressure of work on them, and also the temptation for people to try to corrupt the judicial process to have their way. And essentially, the negative perception of the judiciary at the bar we maintain arise more from political cases than from commercial transactions.
Is rainy season for election lawyers because this is their time?
It would appear so. Because if there are a large volume of cases that can go to court, those who are involved in them will be very busy. And so, as we say, that will be their season. So, I mean, they will have a lot of things going on.
But what do you say to politicians who argue that courts are the only pathway to justice?
No, that's not. Because it's not all the time that court gives justice. Sometimes you get just a judgment. Sometimes you get a period victory. You don't assuage the parties. Sometimes mediation may leave people with a win-win situation and not a win-lose situation. So litigation is not necessarily the best because it brings out a lot of bitterness and enmity between persons.
Well, I mean, you look at the nature of litigation is literally like going to war. Different types of dispute resolution. Court sometimes it could give you justice, but may not be the best ways to resolving dispute. But the big question here, let us see, is INEC, which is the regulator, the umpire, we're supposed to be unbiased, we're supposed to help also to resolve this matter. Sometimes we rely on the courtrooms to also help it. So politicians and political parties look up to the almighty regulator, help us in this matter. The almighty regulator look up to the court, help me in this matter. I don't know how to resolve this matter. Because in the first place, these guys have gone to different courts of coordinate jurisdiction. One in Gombe, one in Anambra, another one in Gombe, another one goes to, and they go all around sketching for court orders. So how do you resolve that kind of thing? INEC is in a big quag, and you're a very good friend. Who is the INEC? I'm a Professor Joash Amufit, a very brilliant scholar and senior advocate. But then that man is in a hot seat. I'm not sure anyone in this country wants to be in the kind of state the man is in right now.
So, what's the question?
The question here is where do INEC, everybody looks up to INEC, but INEC looks up to the courts.
Now, where there are two contending parties, to avoid being accused of taking sides, and especially if the matter is in court, it will be understandable if INEC looks up to the courts for guidance. But if matters were straightforward, there are no litigation, there are no conflicting judgments, then it will be easy for INEC to take a decision. Or where like people have gone to shop, because we talked about forum shopping. Sometimes people go to some destinations to get favorable orders. It happened in Imo, where somebody went to, what's the name of that place in somewhere in the far north, with respect to primaries that took place in Imo State involving ABGA, All Progressive Grand Alliance, I think that's the name, to get a court order and a judgment. Imo. For I think Jiga was somewhere. Yeah. Brandon Kudu, yeah. To get an order. That's clear case of, and politicians do it. Somebody will go to a court and quietly do a litigation and get an order. Sometimes they keep it until the need arises, and sometimes those cases are not well defended. If you were INEC, you would only look up to the courts to provide clarity as to what to do. And so you blame those who are involved, the politicians who are desperate, who would go to any length to get order, the lawyers who are willing tools to be used against the rules of the teaching in the profession that no lawyer should be a tool in the hands of the client to do what the client wants. We should be bold enough to tell the client, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do this because this is what the law says. Not about find a way around it. And the judges who would make orders that appear to be in direct conflict with the law. So if you blame one particular person, then you'll be missing the point. And we are worried at the bar station because we recall that the annulment of June 12 was seemingly justified by those who annulled it because there were conflicting court orders.
And the
gaps were there. And so they were like, this one said announce, this one said don't, this one said don't conduct. And they found it convenient. And lawyers and judges played a role in that. And so we always have to remind our members and the judges, the legal profession indeed, that if the legal and judicial process are put to the wrong use, it may have the tendency or the possibility of truncating democracy.
Are we walking on another dangerous path at the moment in our body politic?
Well, if we continue along this line, we may be walking on a dangerous path because the court should be seen not to take away the oxygen from the democratic context and should allow parties and the political parties to thrive, not be seen to make orders that decapitate the political parties and make it difficult for political parties to hold their own and be able to fight fairly for the votes and the mind of the people so as to win in the next general election.
Without having to sound academic, Mr. President, and trying to find solution, because your association has thousands of lawyers in his register, which means that there is also some kind of solace that the NBA also might be given not only to the body, but also, and not only to the courts, but also to the Nigerian society. Is there a solution to the quagmire? And I know that you are running away from wanting to be specific and mentioning names of any person or political party, but we do know, even the newborn today understand that there is a major crisis on our hands as far as opposition politics is concerned. Mr. President, what would you suggest as the way out?
My suggestion is that multi-party democracy must thrive, and all of us should be committed to ensuring that it works. People must be able to have choices. The political parties must thrive and be able to hold those in government accountable. Otherwise, democracy becomes meaningless because The umbrella, no particular political party is capable of providing a shade for every person to hide under. They do, even though our political parties are not driven by agenda, never mind whether they may identify as progressive or whatever, but in reality there is no discernible political ideology that drives them. Would appear to be they would appear to be merely driven by a quest to attain political power. But whatever we do, we should ensure that the democratic space is not narrowed so as to snuff out the oxygen from it and make it difficult for those who are not in government and in opposition to try, because those in power today were once in opposition, and those in opposition today may be in power someday. And so for people to also have choices, I'm going to take us serious as a place where democracy is really practiced. We should, by our words and action, be seen not to be putting the law to the wrong use to make it difficult for some political parties to thrive and properly do their work.
Please shine the light for us to see tonight. Everyone is waiting for the court, especially what INEC said. And they said, I'm not going to recognize this. What would you prefer as a solution in that quagmire?
What I would prefer that the court should hear this matter quickly. INEC has taken a decision, and because the matter is sub judice, I would not want to comment on it. But that's one dead situation that requires urgent judicial intervention, considering the strict timelines we have, so that we have a clear-cut idea about what should be done. Pretending that this is not a time, and it puts the judiciary under the spotlight, its ability to do the right thing, to apply the law, is being put to the test. And you know, whole Nigerians are watching to see how the judiciary handles this. And time is of the essence. And the matter should not drag on in such a way as to defeat the essence of the provisions of the Electoral Act 2026, which requires accelerated hearing of cases. And in the consideration that some parties may have found themselves, there is need for urgent judicial intervention to resolve the matter one way or the other, so that people can really say this is the exact position of things. Whichever court does that is up to the parties who are involved, whether it is the appellate court or the trial court, which has been ordered to hear the matter quickly.
If this thing gets out of hand and what you're preferring as the solution is not heeded too, we should bring the judiciary for the escalation that might come out of it.
Well, let's wait until that happens. But then if it is the fault of judiciary that it fails to hear this matter quickly so as to provide a solution, then the obvious blame will be on it.
But you as an organization, you are urging restraint to lawyers, and the application that you have described that lawyers are filing, but are you able to also caution and discipline lawyers beyond making statements and warning them?
So, the rules of professional conduct impose a duty on every lawyer, or any lawyer who knows that a lawyer has violated the rules of professional conduct. And so if anybody believes that a lawyer has acted in violation of Section 83 and thereby liable to discipline, it is for those persons to bring petition. We can't go hunting them down. If any is brought to our knowledge that we on our own can present a petition, we will. But it has a process, but it goes through processes. So there will be an investigation, and if a finding of prima facie is made, then the person will go on for a hearing before the Legal Practitioner Disciplinary Committee. But the bottom line is that lawyers should be aware that we have a duty, solemn duty, not to put the judicial processes to the wrong use, not to be a tool in the hands of the politician, not to use litigation to manipulate the political process, not to use it to make it difficult for democracy to thrive. And our members should be aware of this so that we will not end up being the villains or being persons who are blamed for some wrong going on in the political scene. The lawyers should be above board, and as professionals, members of a noble profession, as we say, we want our members by their actions to show that they appreciate that fact, that will carry a duty and a responsibility, and that will act in a proper manner that ennobles the electoral process and not the one that defeats it.
The RPC and the provision of raising a petition is very clear. And I know that the precarious situation the association is, I'm not sure the association can generate a petition against any of its members without a petitioner coming
No, the association can. Yeah, there's nothing that says they cannot.
So the question is, if anybody doesn't come to petition when you're wrongdoing,
if the association has sufficient fact, it will.
Well, I mean, there are such things in the public right now.
Well, you see, if there is enough material in public, the lawyers involved, and what way they may have run foul of the law. Of course. Why not?
Well, I mean, you are working closely with the NJC. The NJC, is the body that is saddled with the responsibility of also doing the administration of our court system. But the question is that the judges that some of these lawyers run to should also be weary of taking some of these cases and administering or entertaining, especially the heads of these courts. Are you able to speak to them also and make this advocacy clear that we are in the election season and our democracy is going to be truncated if we are not careful? And the direct interpretation is that where the society is being messed up, the courtroom also cannot exist.
Yes.
Is this awareness being raised to the agency?
It's part of an agenda we want to pursue next week, seeking meeting with some heads of courts, and it's part of the conversations we want to hold with them.
I'm wondering, Mr. President, a lot of these applications that are, and I'm imagining that it's going to be widespread now as we're going into to the election period. But again, it does look to me that some of these political parties enjoy some of these unnecessary disputes.
No, they do. When you're out for mischief, you would enjoy it. When you're out for mischief, when you want to achieve an ulterior motive, it's likely because some of the cases are not such that people can sit down and resolve. And then you see people go all the way to the Supreme Court, come back and go all the way to the Supreme Court, and sometimes over nothing.
And this concept of go to court, it's a very bad.
No, it is a very bad statement, because you see, if you look at the arrogance with which those who make that statement make it, you sometimes will not be blamed for going away believing that they make that statement because they are confident that they have an idea of what the outcome would be. And no judicial process should be viewed in the light that people may already not have an idea what the outcome would be. That there may not be fairness, that the man is just daring you to just go there and waste your time. It may not necessarily be the situation, but that is perception they give when they say go to court. So it's more like might being right. Just get yourself declared winner, win, then let them go, and waste their time. We're already here. We'll defeat them still.
Are you worried the narrative that some judges are in the pocket of some politicians?
Well, sometimes it's a public perception that is getting stronger and stronger by the day, and it's not good for the judiciary.
And what are you doing about that?
We can do the advocacy. We can keep talking about maintaining the independence of the judiciary. We keep talking about giving money to the judiciary to build its own infrastructure. In a program here in this studio sometime last year, I made a point that it is wrong for the executive to build courtrooms, buy cars for judges, invite judges and hand over vehicles to them. But sometimes it would appear that the judiciary is happy. The judges are happy to be paraded by politicians receiving cars, are paraded to lay foundation stone or built for my judges, as if the person is doing them a favor, as if the governor or minister or whoever is spending his own personal money. And it demeans the judges, it demeans the judiciary. It gives the impression of an incestuous relationship between the bench.
So it's a moral problem.
It's a moral problem because how do you give confidence to the person who's coming against such a governor or such a person in government that he would get justice? When they see you smiling and then receiving gifts from them in a manner that suggests some degree of servitude. There's no way those watching it will get away believing that if you have a case before those courts.
And I'll take an inference, Mr. President, on conduct for judicial officers, which clearly states, as a lawyer, you cannot even go to the house of a judge.
No, you can't.
That's in the rule of professional conduct. And it also states what the relationship between a lawyer and a judge should be. In that sense, one will wonder, maybe the heads of the court could they have rejected some of these cars, some of these houses? Could that have been the right attitude to it? Accepting it.
I think so. Our position at the bar is that if the courts need houses, it should be put in their budget, and the courts should be allowed to handle it. The process, the way these houses are built, the way the announcements are made, the way the judges are gathered, heads of court, and they make the public display of the house being handed over to them is demeaning. and it robs them of the perception of being independent. It gives the impression that they're in the pocket of such politicians.
Is our judiciary independent?
That remains to be seen. By statutorily, yes, constitutionally, yes, but in reality, the perception is that the judiciary is not fully independent, because some governors control how the courts, the judges, independent, control the affect, by erode the independence of the judges, I dare say, by refusing to release budgeted sums to them. And so sometimes a chief judge is reduced to going to the government house to beg for a release of a statutory allocations to them. So to that extent, it is not independent and cannot be independent. But if there's financial autonomy where they have to function and where a governor can not refuse to release money to the poor because they give adverse judgments against the government, then they will be independent. But to the extent that the governors control the purse strings and determine whether they get new cars, determine whether they are building or built at all, or what kind of infrastructure the courts get to function with, then to that extent they can be said to be independent.
Is it not even a natural course when you build a house for a judge? Do you expect to get a judgment that's not in your favor from that courtroom? And therefore, there are those who say maybe the NBA should have come harder to the judiciary to say collecting these houses, collecting these cars is tantamount to putting lawyers on the other side. If government is against any private citizen in any matter, and the government is provided houses for judges, do you expect that that same court to give judgment against?
Well, I believe I've answered. It's about perception. It may not be real, but it also takes a moral authority from you. For example, for every month a governor supplies you diesel in a manner that is suggestive of a gift, then the next day the transformer of the cost gets blown, you call the governor, you beg him, supplies it. Somehow, somewhere, some people will feel morally obligated not to offend that person, especially their judicial officers. And so their independence and their ability to render even-handed justice will be hampered. And so the ordinary persons coming before the courts are already disadvantaged and may not get judgment or may go away believing that they cannot get justice from those courts.
In a case, and I'm referring to attitude and conduct of some lawyers in the courtroom, a case where you find out that a lawyer called out a judge saying, "You are so judge," inferring that judge is in the pocket of a politician. In a case where you find interview being conducted in the courtroom, in a case where you find a suspect under trial calling a judge names and have to be taken out of courtroom, there are situations and incidents that I've never seen in all my life that has happened in recent time in our courtrooms. There's a place we call the hallowed
chambers,
chamber, and the temple of justice. They have been desecrated. And imagine that the NBA would have come hard in this kind of, in defense of the judiciary.
Oh, we did that. We had to issue a statement a while ago when a certain individual turned the courtroom into a place for makeup and conducting interview, and the bar condemned that, and also spoke in defense of the senior advocate who challenged that because such things should not take place in a court. Interviews by journalists should take place outside of the court presence, outside, not within the courtroom. The courtroom should be respected, and it does not matter whether the judge is there or not. Like I said, it's a hallowed chamber. It's a place of justice, and it should not be reduced to theatrics. And we maintain that position. And then when a language is used by a person in a manner that you have described, it amounts to contempt of court. And the judge would take the proper actions. The only problem would arise where the judge, in proceeding for contempt, acts in a manner that makes it personal, like asking a lawyer to kneel down or to turn around and face the wall and hands up. These are not acceptable punishments. So if contempt is the face of the court, there's a procedure for initiating contempt committal proceedings or trial if it's outside of the court. So the court is not without power to protect itself, and it is for the judge to utilize that.
And you know what people say, Nemo Judas Incososua.
So
the concept that when the judge meets out a punishment to someone, in which case the judge,
so it depends. Yes, that's why I said there's a procedure. If it happens before you that you may have to be a witness, you may But you can't try summarily. So it depends on the circumstance. And you have to follow the procedure. Once you follow the right procedure and come to a finding that the person is deserving of punishment for being in contempt of court, why not? But you can't, that's why you can have a person being in contempt of court and the judge end up getting blamed for not going about it the proper way. It's about doing it the proper way. That's the most important thing. But we must protect the institution. We must protect the courtroom and protect the person or the judicial officer who presides in the court. And we should not reduce it to a child's play. And should be mind the language we use in addressing the court, even when the court has taken a decision that is not to our liking.
Mr. President, we're going into a very critical election cycle. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is that the judiciary and the lawyers may put the law to the wrong use and be blamed for if anything goes wrong with the electoral process.
So how do we curtail that?
Well, you made reference to our press release. We want our members to be circumspect in the matters they take to the court. We also want the courts in where that matters have been filed in negation of the provisions of the law, not to rush to grant injunctions, but to hear these matters quickly and make findings, and then, where necessary, impose punitive costs to be paid personally by the lawyers, and also to refer the lawyers involved for disciplinary action, and also where any judge has also acted in flagrant violation of the law. For also petitions to be presented to the NJC against them, we must sanitize the organs table. We must sanitize the legal profession. We can't be seen to be willing tools to do the bidding of politicians.
How far is the NBA willing to go?
We're willing to go as far as possible, and our members are being sensitized to be on the lookout for this and report possible.
Because they think that you have the teeth, but you don't bite.
We don't have the teeth the way people think, because as a disciplinary committee, we can only make a report. We, an advocacy group, we draw attention to things, and we can, in some circumstances, as an association, present petitions. But we can do much, but not so very much, because there are other organs and their procedures. Sometimes some of these processes are not as fast as people would want them to be.
Mr. President, Nigerian Bar Association, AFAM, Osogwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you for inviting me, Sean.
I appreciate it.
And
Thanks
have
so
a
much.
lovely weekend.
You too, sir. We take a break, everyone.
All right. You don't talk, which is good. I'm glad that he came out to speak, because it's very important, because people are beginning to wonder. And he has clarified that they're an advocacy group in Nigeria. Because there's a disciplinary group within them, but it still begs the question though, right? I still believe that they can, even with the advocacy, they can create pressure groups within the advocacy. Question is willingness to do it, because he comes across as somebody who really doesn't want to get himself involved in the process like that, maybe because of the type of government that we have. But this is a moment for stars. This is a time for him to shine. He still has the opportunity to do what he needs to do, to be quite honest. He says that they're sensitizing their members. They're thinking about punitive damages, pre-punitive, for anybody who's found wanting and all of that, and refer them for disciplinary actions and all of that. But in spite of all of that, there's a way they can create pressure groups even within the advocacy groups. So he comes across as somebody who really who really is unwilling to go the extent. That's how he just wants to do the book by the book. He wants to go by the book. Theory, right? But where we are in Nigeria now is very pivotal. It's very crucial. This is the moment for anyone to stand strong. Okay? So, again, like I said, he has done his bit, he has tried, but he can do more. And if it means him writing a referral to the Nigerian Judicial Council, I think it's called the NJC, right? If it means he has to write a referral or get together with his colleagues, because the problem in the judiciary in Nigeria also is that you have people who are not even called to bar, who are from Sharia courts that are judges. I hope you guys are aware. Some of them are practicing as judges within your legal system without having to go through all the things that the regular lawyer ought to go through. And they don't really take action against these people. There's no really disciplinary actions against them. right? Because somebody knows somebody who knows somebody. That's another problem. So you need someone who is very willing, who is strong, who is like, okay, this is my position. I want to use it to purge the entire system. I'm standing strong. I know they move. And I will refer when I need to refer. I will confer with the NJC if I need to. We need to talk. We need to meet with the ethics committee and talk to them and see how we can get around making sure that we start to purge the system, because we cannot continue, because you have so many lawyers in Nigeria, but sorry, nothing to write home about them. You keep graduating lawyers. There's nothing to write home about. Some of them don't even know what they're doing. Look at this professor, for instance, made a complete ass of himself on Twitter. An entire professor, a son at that matter. If that is not embarrassing, I don't know what to say. Now, it's not his fault that the judiciary is bad. Of course, it's been bad for a long time. After all, Dele Farotimi wrote about it. I expect lawyers to take Dele Farotimi's stand. If you know you cannot do anything to make the necessary change, then don't even bother. Do the one you can. Then when you hit a brick wall, say, you know what? This is what I'm trying to do. I'm hitting a brick wall. Because, I mean, you need to use all mouths to talk. Not everybody if you talk like Dele Farotimi, I get it. But if you talk and not talk with all your mouth, we go understand what they happen. Because this moment in time that we are living through in Nigeria, it is calling for people to step out of their comfort zone. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. This is a history they create. So yeah, good that he came out to address a lot of the issues. But I mean, action. It's not just talk. There has to be action. I would like to see action. I would like to see action. I would like to see sanctions. This lawyer was sanctioned. All those lawyers, when they collect houses, for instance, now, they are not supposed to collect gifts. So they're already compromised. So if any case comes before their courtrooms, guess what? They're going to give judgment to the person who builds them a house. What are you doing about that? Okay, if it's not up to you to dish out the punishment, how about, making a referral to the Judicial Council and the Ethics Committee? At least let it be known that you have made a referral. You have a Twitter handle. Because the citizens are very heavily engaged now. Make a referral. This is my referral to the Judicial Council. We need to address this situation, blah, blah, blah. Nigerians will swarm around you and say, okay, there's something going on here. And then heroes from within the legal system will start to come up. Where one person is the only one crying all the time, crying. It can be tiring. Ini Bong, Abi, what will be the name of that lawyer? The man is only doing so much. Sometimes he go talk, the man go even tire to the talk, So at this moment, heroes are needed. That's just the truth. Because we are living through a very crazy time in Nigeria. But they try. Kudos to them. But we need action. I want to see more action. Exactly, Mr. Obibweze. Thank you very much for saying it. He has it. He just needs the will. He's saying he's passing the buck to the Nigerian Judicial Council. But he's the president of the Nigerian Bar Association. So he has high standing. So he can do much more than he's saying. That's why I said he comes across like someone who's not willing. He doesn't have the will to do it, to go that far. He doesn't. He's reluctant. You can tell he can't. He doesn't really want to go that route. And I'm sure there's somebody who is willing to step into that position that he's in and do something about it. This is why I said this is the moment for heroes. If he knows that it's something that he cannot do, there's no harm in saying Nigerians need to normalize. This one don't pass my payroll. Let me step aside. It's not enough to enjoy the perks and the position in a terrible government just because you want to maintain that position. I'm sorry. I'm not going to have much of a respect for you. I'm sorry. Do you understand? A lot of Nigerians are finding that out too. This is the moment to stand and stand tall. It's a difficult time to stand, but you got to do it. There are people who've done it. I mean, you've already had that position as the president of the NBA. Nigeria is at war. What are you saying? I want to, it's not up to me. You are the freaking president of the Nigerian Bar Association. You can write referrals, you can meet with them, you can call a meeting with the ethics committee and have a roundtable and talk. Tweet. Let's see you tweet and say, hey, I've met, in light of my conversation on Channels TV, blah, 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 blah. Let's know ginger in the judiciary, because now citizens are calling that we need to now find a way to call out the judiciary. That momentum is building on Twitter right now. That momentum is building. Do you want the institution whereby the momentum will build to the point the citizens will now be the one to take it upon themselves to come and be protesting in front of the judiciary? Is that what you want? You understand? So this is a moment for heroes. I'm sorry. People need to be able to stand to the finish. Occupying any position in Bola Tinubu's government, you are either complacent or you're standing with the people. There is no half measure. There's no middle ground. You are either standing with the people or you're standing with Agbado. If you know say you no go fit, you don't already be president. Step aside. Let somebody who has the will step in. Right? This is what I think. I want to see more action. And I'm watching that space too. But all this one you can't do so. Nigerians are used to speaking big English, coming on Channels News. For instance, why are you using antiquated Latin? We're not Latin in Nigeria. How about simplifying the English? America here has common law. They too have common law foundation from the British, but they don't use these terms in their legal documents. They don't. You don't go see antebellum. You don't go see all these fancy words. They go break them down so that the common man go feel understand. Come on. Since 19-something, I see they use the same antiquated words. It doesn't make any sense. It's almost like there's no direction. People don't know what to do. Meanwhile, the solution is within you. Anyway, I beg, I don't talk rich. I don't talk, I have to watch the space, now I remain. Because some of this, wait till I don't notice, say some of this, all these people, when they work for this terrible government, you know, if you see something where they smell, you cover your nose, you go say, let me be managing it. No. Stand tall. Say, okay, I not go fit, waka comot. Why do you want to you want your reputation to go with the wind with this type of terrible government? No. Take a stand. This is the moment to take a stand, my people. I'm not kidding, no. Anybody now when they start on the sideline, you are complacent. There's no long and short about it. Especially if you get position for this government. And you know say you not be like them. Then you need to speak up. Or you move. Not enjoy the peck. Can they tell us this thing? See Ojuku wife. What is they call her? Bianca Ono. The respect when I get for her don't drop to zero. Because, come on now. What can you have on you? Meanwhile, the word on the street is that she's the one who's responsible for them being able to pick up Samuel Ekpa, right? And we just found out recently that Samuel Ekpa has been moved into Nigeria, right? I said it that when that woman was working, definitely she has skeletons in her cupboard. There is no way you can work for Tinubu without having skeletons. That woman, they have something on her. They have something on her. And I heard what they have on her, but I can't say it. I don't want to say it. I don't feel like talking about it. The time will come to talk about it, but until then, I don't want to say it. This is a moment for heroes, Nigeria is looking at everybody. History is being written right as we speak. English not going to save us. Antebellum, Uncle Bellum is not going to save you and I. What is going to save us is action. Imagine if we all folded our hands. Do you know that single protest that ADC came out and did has really created a lot of waves? That's the power of actions. That's the power of action. You can't just talk and talk and talk. No, we know so you be lawyer. You can talk. But nah. Lawyers are the single biggest problem in Nigeria. They are the major problem. If the lawyers, if the judiciary was standing strong, half of the problems in Nigeria will be solved. Half of the problems. But because the judiciary is sold out and you don't have people with political will to actually start to clean out the judiciary, it's getting worse and worse. How do you want to be remembered? That's the question. I hope, I don't know, maybe he's hearing my small channel, maybe, I don't know. But really, President Afam, how do you want to be remembered? It's not just speaking. We know you have the gab of words. You're an orator. We can tell. But that's not enough. We need action. Your judiciary has caused humongous embarrassment to the nation. You have lawyers, sons making a complete fool of themselves. Complete ass. And they claim to be lawyers. Some of them don't even understand. How can you say antebellum is before, as it existed before? Some son, a professor, comes and turns everything upside down. He claims to be a professor. How did he get his sonship? That question begs itself. Do you think that if Dele Faroshimi took that position, he's not going to clean the judiciary? He will. He will start to do. If they're not let her do, I go waka comot. Now heroes will they look for right now. We're looking for somebody that is willing, that has the willingness to do what is needed, the hard work to clean out the system. Everybody should be involved. If na judiciary, they take on the judiciary. Start to they clean the judiciary. Take on the police. Start to they clean the police. If you are a big guy in the police, if you are in the military, start to they. That's how it needs to be. But unfortunately, the judiciary that's supposed to be the hope of the common man is now highest bidder. Who build house for who pass? Now they will give judgment to. Is that not shameful? All over the world, nobody rates una as lawyers anymore. Nobody rates una. I beg, my people, I beg. I don't talk rich. Beg. We're going to watch. We're going to continue to watch. But I'm happy with what ADC is doing. I'm happy what's playing out. We'll continue to watch this space. I don't know if the protest is going to continue tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. You know. Let me see. It would be surprising if. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with you guys' comment before I leave you guys. The judges don't care. They have exhibited their corruption and challenge you to go to court. Exactly, right? To be honest, it's the journalists like you and lawyers like Adam who would have been shaming the judiciary for degrading themselves and be so blatantly corrupt. Exactly. We should be going back to the future and not forward to the past. You just zoom or go the very hard past. You know, it would be more surprising if the judges in Nigeria were not corrupt when corruption runs deep in all the areas of society. Exactly. If the judges had their right act together, the corruption will be reduced. Because rule of law is, you know, if you have rule of law in a country, there's only so much you can get away with. You have to have judges that you cannot buy, that you don't even see, that are moving quietly. You don't know. Judges are like, after God, judges. You don't understand. That's how it's supposed to be. All these statement issuance, they make my brain turn. Take action, my guy. Now to talk and big grammar. I never meet any grammar breaker where in grammar they generate electricity. True that. That's true. With the amount of people where they break grammar for Nigeria, you no go believe say these people still they use kerosene lamps take the read. I'm telling you. Exactly. Oriyomi. Wike's room. Wike's room. Do you understand? And they are ashamed. Wike's room. Wike don't buy all the judges. Wike has bought all the judges. Politicians, civil servants, police, army, educators are all corrupt, and you think lawyers can be considered cocooned from a corruption? The whole society needs fundamental change. Kola, you don't understand. If your judiciary is standing, the rule of law is what determines how a society stands strong. Do you know that? You are talking about politicians, civil servants, police, army, educators who are corrupt. If you had judges that were doing their jobs, half your politicians will not get away with what they're getting away with. Your civil servants will be dealt with a quickness. Your police, army have their own courtrooms, right, that they go to. You have judges there too, right, in the military that are not corrupt. Trust me, the system will begin to work. The reason why the system is so bad and has bottomed out is because the judiciary has collapsed. It's now one man's bedroom. That is why. So it's not the society eating into the judiciary now, because the judiciary single-handedly is capable of correcting some of these errors with punitive. By the time somebody comes to court, you say they do the thing, you lock them up for jail. You find the ones when you won't find. And you will find them the amount when they're not just pay like that. I'm telling you, things will change. But they are not doing their job. That is why every part of the country is corrupt. So it still falls back on the judiciary. Eh? If he can do a lot more, okay? He can do a lot more than he's doing. All he's done is talk, which we appreciate, but he can definitely do a lot more. He knows it. Okay? Lawyers should take to the streets. That's what I said. I'm like, lawyers should organize themselves and follow, because the judiciary is not looking good right now. If his hands are tied, then he should step aside. You cannot be a president of the NBA enjoying the perks of the NBA, being a president, and your hands are tied and you're not, then step aside. This is history we are talking about now. That's been written. History will remember those who stood aside. History will remember those who stood aside, especially those at the top. So where does he want to stand? Does he want to stand with Agbado and play safe as long as he's a president of NBA? Or does he want to stand with the people? Which one is it? So that's an excuse. His hands are tied. That's an excuse. Please. He has every tool to make the judiciary stand firm. I agree. I completely agree with you, Mr. Obiboeze. Unshakable about it. He's a goddamn president. So now, should we start doubting how he got the presidency? Is that what we want to do? You know, we can doubt how he got it. So now the question will be, who does he know that knows somebody that knows somebody? Because we all know that's how they get their positions. So you cannot say that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. His hands are tied. Then wash your hands like Pontius Pilate and step aside. It's that simple. The country is going down. The country we are at war. You're saying your hands are tied? I'm sorry. That's not an excuse. When they see person like Wike, the public nuisance building houses for judges, they say nothing. That's the problem. You see that your judges are clearly being compromised. You see that by Wike building those houses, your judges cannot give accurate judgments. There will be bias. So an element of bias is there already. You say nothing. If you're afraid for your life and you feel like your hands are tied, you can't do the job, step aside. You cannot afford to be complacent as the country is burning to the ground, while war is happening right in front of you. I'm sorry. That's a cop-out. It is easy. If it's not easy for him, he should step aside. It's that simple. I'm sorry, Ife. He should step aside if it's not easy. Nobody should be taking that position and be talking about it's not easy. Step aside. Is it easy for Peter Obi? Is it easy for Peter? Why do you think people are riding hard for Peter Obi? Is it easy for Peter Obi? It's not easy. Right now, the way we are in Nigeria, it's not easy for anybody that has any iota of, that top echelon, that position. El-Rufai, hate him, don't love him, little finger, we all know what he did. Guess what? He's taking a stand. I am not going to continue to clap for these people. Yes, I was part of the people who brought this man in. I must make sure I take him out. What did they do to him? They locked him up. That's the consequence of a decision. Guess what? History is going to remember that action that El-Rufai took. You don't have to like the man. Hate him all you want. History is going to remember that action. You cannot be complacent when your country is at war. I'm sorry. It's not an excuse. How can someone like Wike that has never practiced as a lawyer be one of the benchers? How? Doesn't make sense. Can somebody explain that to me? How? If you have any case in court and you have been allocated to a judge who had collected a house from Wike, ask the judge to step down and claim that you cannot get justice from such judge. Do you know how many judges that Wike has built houses for? How many of them want step down? How many? Out of maybe 20, only one go good. Oh God. Hey. Exactly. We need to stop reinforcing failures. Exactly. Obasanjo said it in his clip. I can't even find the clip now, so I was going to show it to you guys. We need to start getting into the habit of reinforcing failures. I'm not saying that farm has failed at this point. The man at least has come out, he's spoken about it, right? But we need more than that. Talking ain't doing shit. He's been talking. He's been tweeting. We see the write-up. Brilliant writer. But it's not enough. We need action. People are now the ones mobilizing and saying they have to mobilize against the judiciary. Do you know what that means? That's an embarrassment to the judiciary. A huge one. For the citizens themselves to say, okay, now we want to mobilize against the judiciary. That's probably what informed him coming out to channels today. I can tell you that for free. We cannot, we are not going to reinforce anybody's complacency or failures. It's not going to happen. They want to be more British than the British. Antebellum, for crying out loud. Even British people don't use antebellum in their courts. They don't. They'll be using technicalities to pass judgment. How about doing something about that? You guys know, you write the laws. How about that? Exactly. That one me don't they talk and since. May they carry the wig and gown, dig hole, burn everything. He can mandate lawyers to never work cases with corrupt judges. That's it. Who have been compromised by Wike. They will hate him. If he cannot do it, if he cannot stand the kitchen, if he cannot stand the heat, he needs to leave. Chief Justice of the Federation, not be Kekere Ekun be that. Not be the one when what is it they call and put for inside be that. You that one day MIA, now that one day in cocoon. Now only Tinubu they talk to. Imagine the CJN is still the head of NJC. Is that not a problem? Our judiciary is the real problem of the country. I'm telling you. Imagine Osigwe said 1993 has been annulled by judiciary. Can you imagine that? It's a problem. That's a problem. Me, I'm already ashamed of... Oh, Mr. Bibes, you're not here yesterday. I was literally shouting. That's how disappointed I was. I was shouting. I was even shouting at Ife yesterday. Right? Me and Ife got, maybe I'm the only one that got into it. She was, not engaging with me like I was engaged. But I was literally mad with what the judiciary has turned into. And I told her yesterday, I said, okay, if you know him, go and talk to him. People are pissed. The judiciary has messed up everything. You cannot say you were a part of this judiciary and things are going bad and you are saying your hands are tied. Are you a baby? I beg. I don't want to hear. Please. The country is at war. In case you don't know, Nigeria is officially at war. They no go tell now. And the lawyers are reckless. Yep. When the president's philosophy is what money cannot do, more money will do. Stamping out corruption is a big task. Fundamental change has to start from the top. Caller, which top? Clearly not this top. Clearly not this top. Even if the top is not doing anything, the people from that are lower, like the judiciary, especially the judiciary, can actually do something. If the judiciary finds the will, I am telling you what we're experiencing right now, you will begin to see it reduce. You will begin, if the judiciary stand up, say the Senate cannot do this, you have the judges with the will, you have the NBA president, the NJC president, the CJN, they say, like, we need to clean this system. I'm telling you, things will change. Even Tinubu himself will start to panic. But because your judiciary is a sellout, that is the problem. And that is why Tinubu intentionally made sure he brought all the corrupt people, lawyers, made them sound. Give them, just they dash them sound like biscuits so that he go fit use them. I said some of your judges did not go to law school. Some of them are Sharia court judge. You know, I don't know. And your affirm them, they go no, but they won't say anything. That's the problem. Yeah? Seun Akibaloye is part of the problem of the media. That one we already know now. Imagine him referring to Amopito as a brilliant professor. You know, yes, say we can want pew. When we can want people, I need to know as you go to talk. Now they butter them, make them no fear. Make them no happy. If I don't know if they make excuse for our family, I'm telling you, this is the problem we have. We they excuse other people complacency. I don't understand. We cannot excuse people's complacency, even if not your papa. So if he is making an excuse for our family, he's not a brilliant professor, Bami, at all. If he was, he has not proved that he's a brilliant professor. Please. Moral decadence runs too deep in the whole society, and lawyers and judges are confronted with this every day. The fight against corruption has to be multifaceted in a society that sees money as God. That is why I said every part should take up their own cross and run it. That is why the judiciary has to find a will. Right? That is the reason why. That is why the army needs to find a will. The police has to find a will. There has to be a few good people there standing up and saying, no, enough. But it's not happening. Why do we call out CDS Musa, the Minister of Defense now? When he was CDS, Chief Defense Officer, whatever they call them, right? He had plans. He was going to decimate. He was going to do this. Now he's minister. We ain't seeing action. Matter of fact, more people have been pied. No will. Everybody is dancing to the tune of one man. That is problematic. That is where our problem is. If we find people with will, things will change. What's that professor's name? Professor Oti in Abia State. It took one person. She said, nah, whatever needs to happen, let it happen. But this is not on my watch. I'm going to do what I need to do to deliver my people. And that's exactly what she did. That's what I'm talking about. She could have chosen to be corrupt herself and collect the money, and Abia State will still be where it is today. But she chose not to. That's what I'm talking about. We cannot defend people's complacency. Because one person is bad, we all know we have castigated him and we continue to, right? We continue to castigate him, but people need to find the will in the different sectors. If people begin to fight the will, Tinubu will be shaking. Do you think that if Yakubu Mahmoud chose to do the right thing, Tinubu forget it for fit do am? If or not fit. Why will they defend people complacency? I don't understand though. Ha! A live bencher, yeah. Yep. Everybody needs to mount pressure. President of NBA needs to mount pressure. CJN, unfortunately, now Tinubu, but guess what? She can make a U-turn and say, no, fine, use whatever I've done against me. I don't care. I need to save this institution. But there's no will. The ethics committee can do that too. The citizens themselves have their role. The citizens are not going to do everything that every sector ought to be doing. It's not possible. Let's ask ChatGPT what power. Let me see. What power does the whatever? Is there any power left in the Nigerian judiciary? There's no power left now. People, they do as they like. So why can't the NBA or the CJN or the ethics committee step up? Even if we ask ChatGPT, Nigerian judiciary is upside down. It's upside down. So it doesn't even follow. They don't even follow the ethics. They don't follow the rules of professional conduct. So how do you apply that? He does not speak truth to power. He speaks from every side of his mouth. He's an APC. He has Agbado in his pockets. Who says Amopiton is brilliant? Nah, Shewun Naito say brilliant too. Someone who cannot interpret antebellum. Hey, God, I beg you. Okay, so what did okay, since you did ChatGPT, what did this? Okay, say NBA president can do protests. Bam, bam. He can organize pressure groups amongst them to do protests. But will they do it? The will is not there. That's what we're talking about. If judiciary if stand up, I'm telling you, Nigeria go change. If judiciary if do the right thing, all these your politicians go start to shake. Now me they tell now. Oh my goodness. If judiciary not get the will, they not stand where nothing go happen. Now it make things bad as it bad. If to say judiciary, you get people within that judiciary when go do something, when go shake. I'm telling you, you go see all these politicians start to sit up. A lot of the things that Agbado is getting away with, you won't be able to get away with it. That's just the truth, unfortunately. Anyway, my people, I beg, I don't stay past as I say I want to stay. Make I leave now. So I will get energy to come out next time. Una have a nice night too. Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you all. Mona enjoy on our weekend though. I go to see you again on my next one. Bye.